Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so a little late with this video. Decided not to do it last night even though the game is at 12:30. It is at 12:30. The Lakers are playing the Minnesota Timberwolves in game 4 in Minnesota Target Center. And it is what, 11 right now even. So yeah, you got a couple minutes to watch this video, so I try not to make it too long. But yeah, man, the Los Angeles Lakers, we're down 2-1 in the series. We did not play well in the last game. We did not like how those stats looked for the most part, especially when it came to turnovers and points conceded. We had 19 of them and 28 points conceded off of those turnovers. And you couple that with the fast break points, they beat us 21-11. They killed us in the paint, 56-26. We did shoot better from behind the arc, which was a far cry from game 2. We were 17 of 40 for 42%. We liked that. Shot okay from the field as well, 47%, 37 out of 78, but we didn't get enough volume there to really keep up with them with all the damn turnovers that we had, since they were able to shoot 48% from the field, 44 of 91, and fair from the three, 36% for 13 out of 36. So we tied them on the glass. I think we've done an okay job. Really, I mean, when you consider they have the size advantage, we were able to get 38 rebounds. So we were good in that area for the most part. We would love to win the battle, but to tie them, I think, is a positive thing. We had some, assists here and there. 21 assists is okay. We'd like to keep it above 25, maybe 30, to really show that your offense is clicking, and we've yet to see that. But their defense has a lot to do with that. They had 10 steals in the game, 19 turnovers, which means we had 9 turnovers. Almost half of our turnovers were unforced and just bumbling and fumbling and just doing a lot of the stuff that we really can't let happen tonight if we want to push this series into an even space. Jaden McDaniels going 13-22 from the field definitely was a standout for me, 30 points. I gave the game ball to Anthony Edwards, even though he had one less point, 29. He also had 8 boards and 8 assists. And that's the key stat there for Ant-Man, is the assists. In the games that he's won, he's had about 8 assists. In the games that he lost, he didn't have any assists. So we got to make him a go-to scoring only option for the Minnesota Timberwolves with our defensive principles. If we're allowing him to pick us apart with the pass, he's not having any problem doing that. And so we need to update our database as it pertains to Ant-Man. He is not a selfish player. He will use the pass against you, and we are getting schemed because of it in a negative way. So yeah, in the game that he lost, he didn't have a single assist at all, 25.6 rebounds, 2 of 8 from the 3. We can't control shooting. I mean, they really shot historic. For their standards, they shot really bad in game 2 and came back and shot pretty well in game 3. I don't know what to expect tonight, but I'm leaning toward more of what game 3 showed us, because that's more of the norm for them. For us, against them, we haven't scored more than 100 points but maybe twice this season. And we've now had, 6 game sample size? This is not good. We got to figure out a way to score. Much has been said about Rui Hachimura not playing well in the last game. In the last 5 minutes, I think most of the stuff that ultimately happened was against him. Based on a meme that I saw, really. They said that the last 5 possessions were essentially him either getting attacked, fouling, or missing shots. So we got to get better play from Rui Hachimura if we stand a chance. I will say that I think the mask may be impeding some of his vision, and it might have contributed to some of his struggles, but he does need to play a lot better regardless. Jordan Goodwin has been giving us some good minutes. I would love to see us increase those minutes. He's playing well in this series. It's a Jordan Goodwin-like series. It's a Vanderbilt-like series, meaning that since shots aren't really falling anyway, you need the dirty work, 50-50 guys, defense guys, physical guys. He is that type of player. It would behoove J.J. Redick to try to deploy more Jordan Goodwin, and if possible, more Jared Vanderbilt. I think Vanderbilt may have played more in the last game if he wouldn't have gotten in foul trouble. He walked away with 5 of them in 13 minutes. He has got to be free, but he also has to find ways to not get himself played off the floor. So that's really what it comes down to. Stay out of foul trouble. Don't do stuff that doesn't help us to whatever degree, and you'll be able to stay on the floor. We got to do something about some of their others, man. When their others are going, Naz Reid had 11 points in the last game, but shot well, 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3. Don't scheme him open anymore if you want this series to continue. It's not working. Mike Conley, we're a much better team when Mike Conley is not contributing to the scoring. He had 9 points. That's just enough scoring for what their team needed him to give them. That's not good. DiVincenzo getting 10 points, not good. We want to keep these guys, their others, from getting points, because we're not really contributing to a whole lot of points from our others. So, given the fact that Austin Reeves has been pretty much, neutralized for the most part, he did have a better shooting night against them game 3, but he wasn't doing too much as it pertains to being able to really flex and be that third star for us. And of course, we had Luka with the sick game. I'm not on the mindset that we should not have had him on the floor. I've been listening to a lot of people say, no, Luka's not on the floor. Well, Luka creates so much space for guys like LeBron and Austin. And given the fact that they're able to hone in on Austin in such a way, you probably need the threat of even a sick Luka Doncic on the offensive end to give yourself the spacing that was provided. I could argue LeBron James probably wouldn't have walked away with 38 points if Luka wasn't on the floor for a lot of that, because it just kept people honest. You got to guard Luka. Regardless if he's sick or whatever, you got to guard him. And so I think he still provides a presence on the offensive end. On the defensive end, no, he wasn't helpful until the fourth quarter, where he started to get his wind a little bit, started playing a little better, but it was too late. I just think our continuity at the end of the game was a little off, man. And you got a hot hand, you just got to ride the hot hand. I think we started getting into pecking order principles and stuff like that. We need to get the ball to Luka. We, that kind of thing in the fourth quarter, and we just didn't play smart ball. Trevor Lane did a great job of breaking down some plays in a video that I watched yesterday. And one of the things that was pointed out was just the bonehead stuff that we did, not boxing out, allowing for certain things, fouling, as I mentioned in my reaction to the game, on 3-point plays and stuff like that, where we knew we didn't have rim protection, but we also knew that if we didn't damn near flagrant foul them, they would likely make the shot and get the line free throw. So we need to do a much better job of just not doing dumb stuff tonight, if I'm being completely honest with you, today rather. And I think we will see a more polished version of ourselves, just in general, because we have had 3 games straight where we played against this team. Eventually, we're going to start figuring certain things out, in theory. But just the same, so can they. So be very careful. Yeah, and that's one thing I want to see. If this Laker team is capable of learning, because we do have somewhat of a new unit. We have had 3-game sample size of this team. It's a lot of data for us to study at this point. I think mucking the game up has worked in our favor, particularly in game 2. A lot of that had to do with them missing shots, but we were also very rabid defensively going after them, scheming Anthony Edwards away from being a playmaker and just allowing him to attack, see if he can go for 70 points to beat us, but we don't want other people getting off. Julius Randle creates a real problem. I've been saying that since the beginning of the series. If he has a big game, it could be to your detriment for sure. We have not been able to keep him at bay. I don't think any of the stuff that we're doing is actually working. If anything, they're just not spamming him as much as they probably could to get the most out of him. So I don't know what to do with Julius. I think that, we just got to continue to hope that they don't start making him more of a focal point in the offense. And while Jaden McDaniels is hitting a lot of shots and doing a lot on the defensive end, which has made it very impossible for us to kind of keep up with them, we definitely do not want Julius Randle to start taking more shots, because with his power and strength, he's going to get to the line a hell of a lot more. And that's really what happened in game 3. He got to the line 10 times, hit 9 of them. Nobody else got to the line more than 4 times. Ant-Man didn't even get to the line, which is absolutely and utterly insane when you consider it. But I don't expect for that to continue. Him walking away with 29 points without getting to the line is just a testament to how dangerous of a shooter he has become. So, these are things that I'm thinking about, man. Don't let Rudy Gobert turn into a scorer tonight, because I do think that game is coming in this series. He's only averaged, 1 or 2 points in this series. They kind of phased him out of the offense, but do know that he scored over 30 points in 2 of the final 5 games of the regular season. We went over that in the pregame of game 1, for which I encourage you all to check out if you got time to do so. We broke down the numbers of that team and what they've been doing, just like we did throughout the regular season. I really believe that Rudy Gobert is capable of scoring in this series if he really wants to, because the size advantage is there for him. They just choose to not go to him because, quote-unquote, he is a offensive liability. But those 2 games that we saw highlights of, highlights, I watched those highlights, he was scoring repeatedly. And I just feel like that eventually they're going to shift to asking him to do more offensively, just out of the sheer nature that nobody's expecting it. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was what we see today. Dante DiVincenzo, the shot hasn't been falling. I do expect that another home game will help him in that way. His defense was extremely powerful, though. 3 blocks, 1 steal. He did a lot of things that hurt us, but his shot hasn't been falling. I do expect for him to shoot a little better today. So we still need to be careful with him. Nas Reed at home, I expect him to shoot well. These type of things, just, we need more out of our others, man. Gabe Vincent, if you're going to get minutes, Vanderbilt, um, we need to get something out of these people, man. Jackson Hayes, if he's going to be on the floor, he can't be a complete liability like he has been. I don't know what JJ's going to do with the lineup. Coming out of the locker room with Jackson Hayes in game 3, I thought was really hurtful for our situation, given how bad he had played. But I also think, JJ's responsible for keeping these guys' confidence up. So I don't know how he's going to operate in this situation as desperation comes about. Do you abandon what you've been using that's worked, or because it hasn't worked as of late? Or do you continue to roll with what you have and live and die with that and hope that the guys just kind of snap out of their funk? But we have some guys that are not playing well in this series, partially because of the Minnesota Timberwolves defense being so effective, but more so, I think, just because these guys are just not playing well when it matters most. And I think the pressure that the Minnesota Timberwolves are placing on these guys got them doing a lot of thinking, and I think it really hurt us in game 3. Just them pressuring us throughout the course of this series, I think has gotten in these guys' head, and I think it contributed to some of the unforced turnovers, and I have to give credit to them for that. So that's really what it is, man. Minnesota's been a better team through 3 games, but we have found a way to steal one from them. I don't imagine we can't steal another. And given the fact that they won one in our building, we do owe them. And getting the split is ultimately what it's about. But this series can take a turn for the complete worse if we happen to lose this game. Most people think this series is over if we do. So to say that this is a game 7 is probably the truth. You need to win this game. And you need to establish that Minnesota is in the same position you were in, having to win 2 games still after this game to win this series. That's what you want. You want to close the gap on them, extend the series, and force this thing into a guaranteed game 6. It's not what we wanted from the beginning of the series, but it sure is better than losing in 5. And I do think the Lakers are in a great deal of danger if they drop this basketball game. We don't typically play well these 12-30 games, but this is playoffs, man. If you ain't prepared, then you deserve to go home. And the way we've played through 3 games, we do deserve to go home. We could change that today if we put on an effort and a show in Minnesota that allows for the Lakers to be proud of themselves. We can change that. Now, I don't know what type of Luka Doncic we're going to get out there, man. Hopefully he's a better Luka. Hopefully he's healthy. It's been only about 40 hours, if that. Hopefully he's ready to go. But I really don't know. But we're going to need a more energetic, more, intentional, and more just overall special version of him if we're going to go anywhere in this series or any other series. So we need LeBron James to also continue to keep his energy up. Last game was probably very dejecting, having him play as well as he did, coupled with the turnover, only 1 turnover, and that was the one off his hands, the unforced. I just think that LeBron James has to continue to keep his, dare I say, confidence up, you know what I mean? And know that your efforts are not in vain, man. You are the king. You've overcome many things, and this is just another one of those situations that you have to overcome. As long as we're still playing ball, we still got to come out there with our hard hat on, and we need players to be smarter than they've been. Period. Everybody. Collectively, we need to be smarter. Austin Reeves needs to be tighter with his dribble. You've had 3 games with these guys pressuring you. You know what's coming. Tighten up. And if you don't handle that pressure well, it is on JJ to sit you down and go out there with Jordan Goodwin or somebody else try to get something out of this team. I need Dorian Finney-Smith to continue hitting shots. He was 2 of 4 from the 3 in the last one, 3 of 6 from the field. I need him to be more aggressive, man. For as efficient as you are and as open as you are, it would behoove us to try to find you more often. You're hitting shots all over the 3-point line. That is a good thing. We need him to attempt like 10 shots, bro. The way that we want Rui to attempt shots, as long as he's wearing this mask, I do think he's going to be a bit of a liability. I don't think he's adjusting well to the mask. And that's why I'm like, look, if we, I want Rui to get his touches, but to me it seems like Dorian Finney-Smith might be a better bet to be more efficient right now. And given the fact that he helps us so much on the defensive end, I do not know why we wouldn't want him to get more touches on the offensive end. So Dorian Finney-Smith, I want you to get involved, bro. I've seen you do some things that make my eyes like pop up. I've seen you dunk on people in emphatic ways. And we need a big Dorian Finney-Smith game. Don't let your season fizzle out, bro. That's what I would tell Dorian Finney-Smith. I understand we have players on this team. You're probably like the 6th in the pecking order or whatever. But I need Dorian Finney-Smith. I'm circling him in this game. A big Dorian Finney-Smith game will make me happy. I need him to play big tonight, right now. And I'm calling him out. It's Dodo. I need you today. I need you to hit shots, bro. And I need you to play the defense you've been playing, stay out of foul trouble. And I need you to make up for where Rui and Vanderbilt will not be able to score. Gabe Vincent, Cardi G it's like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. You don't really, you don't know what you can get from Gabe most of the time. Honestly, I don't expect a whole lot. But Dorian is the guy that if we're going to get anything from the scoring on the bench, I need about 16 to 20 points from Dorian Finney-Smith, man. I really do. I need him to have his scoring hat on tonight. And so that's what I'm looking for, man. This game for us, it's not win or go home, because even if you lose, you still have an opportunity with your back against the wall to try to do something. But the series is nowhere near over if you win it today. In fact, you put a lot of pressure on Minnesota to try to get a game back at our house. And they've already won one. Can they win two? Is the question you want them to have to ask themselves going back on that flight. And so that's why I just think that the others are really important tonight. I don't expect Austin Reaves to overcome that pressure. I think his shooting has been better. Him getting his three back is important. If we could get a big Austin game, that would be great. I don't expect us to score more than 105, which means we're going to have to slow them down defensively. Hopefully they have some cold guys. But we really need to just tighten up on the things that we can control. Unforced turnovers are ridiculous. They're going to get their share of steals and blocks. But unforced turnovers, you might as well just pack your bags to Aruba if that's what you're going to do today. So let us not beat ourselves. If they're going to beat us and be a better team, cool. But game 3, we gave them. Game 1, I thought we gave them. For all of what it is that Minnesota's been doing and playing well, I think we farted around in game 1, and I think we wet the bed in game 3. And that needs to be said. I don't think Minnesota has seen the best of the Los Angeles Lakers. I think they played their best against us. I think they've played like they're ready, and they ain't did too much to beat themselves. And when they did, they lost the game in game 2. But we haven't honored them and how hard they've played by just stringing together a good basketball game through 3 of these games. We have yet to play well. Some of that's on them and the pressure they put on us. Most of it is on us and just how bad we're handling that pressure. And some of the choices that we're making under pressure. So that's really what I got to say, man. This is beyond important. This is your season. And Luka has something to prove, because people saying he's fat and unhealthy and all of this, and he has something to prove. Getting bounced in the first round does not make anybody feel bad about moving you, bro. I'm just going to put that out there. You ain't making nobody feel bad if you're getting bounced in the first round. So you need to flex on this team that you kicked out of the playoffs last year and not let them be vindicated in knocking you out this year. So I need a better game from Luka Doncic. Whether he's playing well or not, I need him to be sharp. And if he ain't playing well, I need Luka to be mature enough. And this is key. He needs to be mature enough to know when to sit down. When you're not helping your basketball team, when you know you can't help your basketball team, it takes a certain level of maturity to sit down. Because whatever helps your team is what you're responsible for as the leader. And if you're a liability, you can't be out there. So that's really what I have to say as well. We just got to grow up. Luka's going to have to do some growing up. And knowing when to sit down is a really, really important factor of leadership. This is what we're wearing, man. Of course, it's Sunday. You knew that. We're wearing white. And the Minnesota Timberwolves will be wearing the uniforms I think they had in game 1 on the road. So I think they're not going to use their alternate floor, but they will have those blues. The injury report is the same. Dillingham out for them. Maxi Kleber out for us. Everybody else is healthy and ready to go for this playoff game. It tips off in an hour, in like 20 minutes or so. So hopefully you guys have enough time. I will upload this video now. And I appreciate everybody for supporting BDF. I don't know how many more games we have left of our season, especially if our team loses tonight. But I do know it's been a heck of a year. We got this trade going. It was absolutely phenomenal to experience that moment. And we want to experience more great moments, man. We are not ready for the good times to stop rolling, especially with LeBron James being at 40 years of age. We just don't know how much longer we're going to be able to play with him, especially at this level. So let's seize the moment. Let's try to get us an opportunity to extend this series. Don't be dejected if you go down by 10 or 12. They have to prove they can beat you in 4 quarters, just like you have to prove you can overcome some of your own issues. And that's really what it comes down to. This is a 4-quarter matchup where we have lost quarters most of this series. They have been a better team than us, which means we have to bring a certain level of seriousness to them that we have yet to bring. They have proven they deserve that respect, and I think the Lakers have shown that when they respect a team like that, they've played their best. It's time to start viewing the Timberwolves not for what it is that you thought they were going into the series, but what they've proven that they can be at this point. And if you respect them the way you respected other teams that were good this season that you happen to beat, I think you beat them today. BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching.